How is it once you go back to your hometown? Like if you go back for Christmas now, for example, how does it feel for you?
Okay. The first 2-3 days, it feels very difficult because well, even later. But the first thing you have to fight for is food. Because they feel like we have no food outside
Yeah.
outside of Italy, so they
don't
have to
need-
feed you.
Yeah, we are all chupati when we go back.
Exactly.
Livello de perino.
Exactly. So that's the first 2-3 days you find yourself fighting for this and trying to recover from the
Food
long
coma.
set.
Okay, guys, we were like talking and not recording, so here we are again.
Episode number 2.
Episode number 2 with our guest Vincenzo Bruno, Big Four director. Welcome again.
Thanks, Flavio.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Yes. We were talking about his experience in UK, and then he went back in Italy.
But first, we can start again. Like, who are you today?
who are you
All right.
today?
Okay.
Then we go.
So as you said, yeah. Hi guys. I'm Vincenzo, and I come from the south of Italy. The region is called Puglia, and I define today as a southern guy who has expatriated to the north of Europe and found himself his home down here in Luxembourg.
Here you feel home?
Yeah. Right now I do. Actually, I've been here for 10 years already. So I find myself home here, and whenever I go on vacation and I come back here in Luxembourg, actually, I ask my wife on the way back home in the same spot, do you feel home? And well, she says no, but is it because I feel home when I reach that
Okay.
spot? So yeah.
Your wife, she's from south of Italy, like you?
Yeah. She's actually from the same city village that I
Okay,
am.
so it's like a lot of like you've been together since a lot, I think.
Yeah. Actually, I was 21. Today I'm 35. So yeah, it's been like
Okay.
14 years.
Wow.
Okay, and that's a lot.
It's
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot. So, but how she felt about that? You were like going abroad, moving,
Well,
like.
At the beginning, it was a change, right? I mean, she was still in Italy. She was still studying when I first left to the UK first, and then to Luxembourg for the first job, because I actually started off my career here in Luxembourg. And at the beginning, she moved. She didn't move with me, so I lived in Luxembourg for 3 years before she joined. And actually, when she joined, it's because I moved to the US for 2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we can get there
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
little bit. And that's so. At the beginning, it was a long distance relationship for 3 years. So
Okay.
quite a change, quite tough at the beginning, but yeah. I mean,
But what was your motivation to move abroad at the beginning? Like, it's not, especially in the south, not many people. Okay, many people go like in the north to go to look for a job because there's not much job in the south. But the Erasmus experience was just to say, okay, I'm going 1 year there, do some exams, have fun, then I go back, or you were already thinking about going abroad?
I was already thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, at first I had to go actually for 6 months, and then I decided to extend for the second semester because I liked it so much, and it was so different to what I had lived for the past 24 years.
For the happiness of your girlfriend at the time.
Exactly. But it was already the time where Skype was popular,
okay.
so we were not with the red phone box. We were already in a time where we could see each
Was
other
there, yeah.
every day.
She went visiting you in UK.
Yeah, she came a couple of times, of course. We traveled around a little bit as well.
So it was the Erasmus during the bachelor, the master?
It was already during the master degree.
Master degree. Okay. And so the bachelor, where did you study?
It was again in the south of Italy. It was
in Bari?
In Foggia. Actually.
In Foggia.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Also, the master was in Foggia.
Yeah,
Foggia.
exactly.
Okay. And like, what do you call you want to say something?
No, because usually it's like, especially for the master, I hear a lot of people like try to go to the north. So for you, it wasn't.
Well, to be honest, it's something I regret today because when I finished off my bachelor degree, I didn't feel the urgency to get out from there. But as from the first year towards the half of the first year, I felt like I had to do something. Also because I was starting to look what's next. What will it be when
Next
I
chapter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what will it be when I finish this? For sure, I will have to leave anyway. So that's when I decided, to try to do something different, and I recognized that my language skills were not good enough, and I tried to do something in that direction. And that's how I moved out, and that's why I decided to go abroad. And I ended up here because you were mentioning about the north, but when I returned to Italy, my mind had already shifted. I mean, I knew that I wanted to continue to try something different from Italy, and going to the north would have been different. It would have been an option, but anyway, it would have been far from home. So I said, okay, let's go the extra mile. It might be that one day I'll go back to Italy. Back then, I thought, of course, I'll never return, not for the foreseeable future. But
And what was like the challenge to move abroad? Like your parents were supportive about that. Your girlfriend at the time was like pushing you to move abroad.
Not sure about that.
No, she was.
Let me guess.
She was definitely not pushing, but she understood. We chatted about it. She understood that I had to do something. My parents were actually half and a half. My mom, of course, she wanted me close to her for her life. My father was fully supportive.
Okay.
But yeah, they both understood why I was doing it.
Yeah. And when like you were in UK and your girlfriend came there like and visit you, how like when she arrived there, like she saw that you were really happy. She saw like some changes in you, because when you move abroad, you start like to do like crazy life. You go out and everything. At least with all my friends.
That definitely. I mean, she saw a change, but that was already before she came to UK, because I had returned home for Christmas. I had left like September, so she already started to notice something different. And I mean, it was the first time we had a long distance relationship, so we were learning. So things were changing, of course, and of course I was changing, because coming from a small, closed-minded reality, going to the UK and meeting people from different parts of Europe, of course.
You learn so many stuff. I
think,
like,
and it changes yourself, right?
Yeah.
And how is it once you go back to your hometown? Like if you go back for Christmas now, for example, how does it feel for you?
Okay, the first 2-3 days it feels very difficult, because even later, but the first thing you have to fight for is food. Because they feel like we have no food outside outside of Italy, so they have to feed you.
Yeah, we are all chupati when we go back.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's the first 2-3 days you find yourself fighting for this and trying to recover from, you know, the
Food
long,
coma.
the long 7-8 courses meals. And
Yes, in 15
and
days will be like this.
And afterwards, after the following 2-3 days, you realize that that's not your place anymore, and you usually go to your parents' place, and you don't have your
Space and
place
everything.
anymore, and you guys might have the same feeling
Yeah.
when you go down there.
Yeah, but when they bring you coffee in the bed, it's it's something.
it's something else.
Yeah.
With a bell. Coffee. So, so you said you studied in Foggia, and what did you study?
Yeah, it was business administration.
Ah, okay. And in Birmingham, what was
Yeah,
still
it
related to
was,
finance?
Yeah, it was
or?
related to finance. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you know, you go there, you select what it
Yeah,
might be of interest for you, and can be then recognized back home. And yeah, it was anyway related to my field of study.
Okay. And so then you went back to Foggia
Exactly.
and then Luxembourg.
Yeah, I went back to Foggia to do my dissertation.
Ah, okay.
And then, yeah, I was actually applying for jobs. I was actually applying for jobs in UK, in the north of Italy as well. And I found this opportunity on the internet for a traineeship at Telecom Italia. They do have like a structure here in Luxembourg. So went for the internship. Went for the interview. Still in Italy. It was in Rome. Went a couple of times. Got the position and moved to Luxembourg like a couple of months after I got the graduation.
What year was that? When you moved in Luxembourg?
It was 2011.
Okay.
It was 2011, June 2011.
Okay. Well, Luxembourg, I think, was pretty different
It
from
was.
now.
It was. It had already changed actually, because when talking to people who arrived 10 years earlier than me, they were describing it as a very small city with nothing to do. And when I got here, it was already different. It started to get a more bigger city life feeling. So actually, I mean, I wasn't coming from Milan, so the comparison wasn't that difficult. But yeah.
Before coming to Luxembourg, have you ever heard of Luxembourg?
Well, yeah, of course I did. I mean, I'm not one of those that ask you, how is it to live in Belgium?
My grandma still thinks I live in Belgium.
I'm not surprised. Because many people ask me, how is it to live in Brussels? Well, I don't know. I have no clue, to be honest. But I had heard of it. I knew where it was. I had never been. Not even close to here. So arriving here was like coming to something completely new.
Okay. And you came here for an internship, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
And okay,
Like
and
us.
then basically
Yes.
yeah. And then you move where you currently work.
Yeah,
Or-
exactly. Basically, my internship ended in December 2011.
Okay.
And actually, I was confronted with a different challenge because they offered me a job. They offered me to stay.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I had already started to apply to all the big fours. And I had gotten a job to where I currently work. And I was confronted with this choice, which today I can say was a very good choice. Back then, I don't know if I thought, at the beginning, I didn't think it was a good choice to live, because of course the environment down there was very nice. I mean, where I worked at Telecom Italia, it was small office, 15 people. We knew each other very well. It was very pleasant to.
All Italians, I think.
Yeah, all Italians. A couple of, second generation Italian.
Okay.
But I mean, the language spoken there wasn't
Was
French, wasn't
Ah,
English,
was Italian.
Italian.
Okay.
So, Yeah, so I at the beginning, I mean, it wasn't really a change.
Yeah, because like
Yes.
you move abroad, but you hang out with Italians, you speak Italian, you work in
Well,
Italian.
I wasn't going out with Italians only because when I arrived, I used to live in a house with 9 other people,
Yeah.
and nobody was Italian. So my first friends, the first people I hang out with were those I lived with.
Mhm.
So at work I was speaking Italian, but when I went out, I
Yeah.
usually spoke English.
You felt like a difference when you left the telecom and you went in your new company, like the environment.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I joined in January.
Okay.
So, and I was in audit before. So January is definitely the busy peak season, right?
Yeah.
Ah,
So
really? I don't, no.
you guys know very
Yeah,
well, right? It was a big change because coming from 9 to 5, 9 to 5 job,
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
going to work until 3 a.m. the first day,
Yeah.
you start wondering,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, that's
What?
So before moving to capital markets, how many years did you work in audit?
5 years.
Okay.
So basically, I did like 3 years in Luxembourg in audit. Then I moved to the US, as I mentioned before,
Mhm.
secondment. Basically, a client of ours who has a structure here in Luxembourg has operations in US, and I had actually asked to do a secondment, and it worked out pretty easily because the partner I had talked to had connections in
US.
US.
Okay.
They were looking for people, so it worked pretty nicely.
Mm.
So for a year and a half, I was in audit there, and then in the US they were looking they were looking for people to join the CMAS department, so
Mhm.
capital
Yeah.
markets and accounting advisory, and that's how I transitioned because the first 6 months of my experience there were in CMAS,
Okay.
Okay.
and the same partner was in charge of capital markets in Luxembourg. The same
Okay.
partner who sponsored me, so we thought it made sense to have some exposure in that field. And then when I returned, they just allocated me to
Capital
that
market
department because they were
Okay.
looking for people. It was a growing
department.
department. Well, it wasn't a department. It was not a department
no?
at the time. It was basically a one-man show. There was a director who unfortunately passed away 1 year after I joined the team.
Oh.
So yeah, they were building a plan B. So there was another director who joined, who in the meantime went to get the exposure to capital markets in the UK. Then me, I had 6 months of exposure. So we were supporting this person who was actually already sick.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how the transition happened.
Okay.
Okay.
And when you went in US, I ever thought to stay there?
No. Actually, since the very beginning, I knew it wasn't my place. I loved that experience. I mean, I spent 2 years there. I would do it again. I would advise everybody who works at the same employer where I do to do this because it's very enriching. But I knew I was not going to stay there. I mean,
Okay.
when I moved, I said, okay. I mean, I cannot go wrong because it cannot be that different than it is here. But actually, it's very different.
See?
Mm. And where was it?
Well, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina for the first year and a half, and then I joined the New York office the last 6 months. And that's where I noticed the difference because, I mean, you can go to New York, Los Angeles, big cities. Probably, I mean, there is an international feeling, but when you go to cities that are outside, the very famous ones, although Charlotte is a big city, I mean, it's almost 1 million inhabitants, so it is a big city, but you feel something that it's really American. That's where the rednecks are. Those people voted for Trump, so just I mean, I'm not saying anything against it, but they're American, so
They're really proud.
yeah, exactly. So it was different from from what I was used to,
Okay.
from what I had experienced in Italy, in the UK, and in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Of course.
What are the differences? Like when you move to UK, then Luxembourg, and then US. What is like the differences between Luxembourg and US? I'm not talking just office, but also
Yeah.
normal life.
No, but the reason why I was saying that I wouldn't imagine myself there, because the main difference is like food, but not in the sense of going to the restaurant and not finding a good restaurant, but also going to the supermarket and not finding anything that you have on your list. Because I still remember one day,
Not a rally. You
not
can find
a
anything.
rally. But not, but not
I'm
only
not staying
that.
here.
Yeah, it's even more than that. It was me, myself and my wife. We had done our usual list, nothing fancy, and we said, okay, where do we go to the supermarket? We go to Walmart, well-renowned market. They have, supermarket. They're big. We'll find everything there, everything we want. We arrived there. We couldn't find anything we were looking for, and then especially, even what we found was different from what we are used to. Example, milk. Okay, let's go for fresh milk. Okay, the fresh milk in the US, it's a 5-liter can, which has an expiration date of 6 months. So
It's fresh.
it's
fresh.
How can it be? How can it be, right?
This doesn't adapt. Fresh milk 6 months.
Exactly. Or I don't know, cured meats. I don't know, nothing that we are used of. So anything, you name it, even pasta. At some point, I started to wonder, like very known brands of pasta. You look at the ingredient behind, and you see things that you are not expected to see. And I've never been, somebody who looks into these things. But when I saw the milk, I started to wonder and to be curious about it.
Where I'm eating,
Exactly. And having a look at the ingredients list of pasta, Barilla, and finding added vitamins to it, then, it's something that, I knew on day one that you couldn't be my place.
Okay. And how was your daily life there?
Well, I have to say that I was traveling a lot. It's really different from the way we work here in Luxembourg, because even if you go to see your clients, those would be probably in the city or within reach of 20, maximum 30 minutes. Over there, it was different because the clients I was working for had plants all around the US. So I was finding myself traveling most of the time, leaving like on Sunday evening and getting back home on Fridays. So it involved a lot of travels.
Do you think it was good for you to travel a lot, or you preferred like to stay just at the office?
No. Actually, that's something I liked because
It's good for you that you're alone in another country, like overseas, and you start just traveling a lot.
Yeah. You
get
don't
to know.
always end up in fancy places. I've been in some places where you don't want to go, like Wisconsin, at the border of Canada with minus 15, 20 degrees. Coming from Puglia, it's something not pleasant, I can tell you, right? But it's
Culture shock.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely not only a temperature shock, but it's a culture shock as well.
Yeah, but now you're like it's 10 years you're here. You manage with the cold and everything. No.
That's something that I will never get accustomed to, unfortunately. That's something that I thought I could catch up with, but no, guys, I can't.
No.
I can't.
I feel home when I open the window. I see the fog. 'Cause I'm from Verona, so
All right.
the perfume.
And
the essence.
yeah, it's like every time I go out, I'm like with the scarf and everything, and it's just like this, like okay.
Yeah,
But
it's something I can envy you for sure.
But then you moved to New York.
But you were in US with your wife, or
Yeah, she actually
okay.
moved with me when I moved there. We got married just before going to the US.
She wanted to make
Smart
sure
move.
you
Yeah,
were.
smart move, you know.
No, well, it was. I mean, it was something in the air anyway, and yeah, it allowed her to.
To
come
come.
to US.
Okay.
Because otherwise she would have gotten like a touristic visa, which expired every now and then. Then you have to go back and apply. So we also wanted to get away
Okay.
from.
If I may ask, like your wife also works in Big Four?
No, she doesn't. She
okay.
doesn't. Actually, she graduated just before going to the US, and she, of course, had the same problem than I did with languages. She didn't speak that much English. It was a big challenge for her. So she went actually to school there to learn English. She didn't work because she didn't have a visa to work there.
Okay. Sorry, but she can come with you because she's your wife.
But she cannot work.
She cannot work.
No. You can actually decide after a certain number of months, you can try to convert your visa, but you have to find an employer who sponsors you.
Okay.
But
Okay.
And how was for her? Like,
but at the beginning it was tough. I mean, language skills not there. Her husband not being there because I was traveling.
Yeah.
So
It was traveling.
It was difficult.
So
it was
fun
difficult.
for you, but not for her.
But at the end of the 2 years, I can tell you that she would have stayed longer. She liked it. I mean, they actually asked me to stay a year longer, but I decided not to because coming back here, they told me that I would join the capital market. So I was something. Something that I was,
Excited
looking
about.
for.
Looking for. So I decided not to stay, but she would have stayed. So fun fact: at the beginning, she wasn't the one excited about it, but she ended up.
I imagine from her point of view, you're like, "Dear, we're going to US," and then you're in Charlotte. You're like, "I was expecting New York," or
Exactly.
And then, like after 1 year and a half, you told me like you moved to New York.
Well, I worked with New York office, but I didn't move.
You didn't move to New York.
I still lived in Charlotte, but I worked with you with the New York office.
Okay.
And I was either going to New York or to the clients.
Okay.
From the office.
My base was still Charlotte, but I spent like 3 months going to New York and 3 months going in Florida because we had a big client in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
So
wait, but North Carolina is like center north, no?
No, it's actually in between
it's on the coast,
Florida. Right? Yeah, it's between Florida and New
But it's
York.
cold there, right?
No, not really.
In Charlotte?
No. You've got the 4 seasons.
Okay.
And how far is from New York?
It's like it's less than 2 hours by plane.
It's like
By it's 800,
still.
900 kilometers. Yeah, but in the US it's different.
Yeah.
it's just 2 hours.
But did you travel around US like?
For leisure, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, whenever I had the occasion to, I spent my vacation there in the US.
And what did you like the most?
Actually the West Coast, so the national parks and all the landscapes there are just amazing.
Okay.
Like, we went for a road trip on the West Coast for 20 days, and I mean long distances, a lot of driving.
What you have done in 20 days? Like you went to California?
Yeah. Actually, we landed in Los Angeles, and from there went to Nevada, Utah, back to California from the north, San Francisco, Vegas as well.
So you did all the national parks around there?
Not all of them, because actually it's quite a
journey.
It's quite a journey because you have really a lot of them. But yeah, the main ones like the Grand Canyon National Parks, the Monument Valley, the Sequoia National Park.
It's worth visiting, right?
Yeah, indeed.
And because I imagine like I mean I don't want to say that in Luxembourg we are spoiled, but let's say.
But yeah, we are.
I mean, yeah, it's like I mean, the workload is a lot, but still, you know, I imagine in US, how was it? Was it like crazy hours or?
Not more than it is here, because you have to imagine the size of the clients in the US are much bigger than they are here.
Mm-hmm.
And when I worked in Luxembourg, I used to have 10 to 12 clients.
Oh,
There, I had like 2.
Mm.
So I have to say that no, I didn't work more than I used to work in Luxembourg. Because at the time in Luxembourg already the workload was not too bad.
Okay.
I think like the
Maybe
firm
we
was
joined-
also smaller.
Yeah, that's what.
So there were
probably.
like I think less people
Yeah,
working.
the turnover was much higher than it is now. So
Mm. Yeah. And I mean, when you moved back to Luxembourg, it was already 5 years. You said in the company, right?
yeah.
So you were
exactly.
about to be promoted,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
you were
I was
already
promoted. Actually, I was promoted to manager when I returned.
okay?
Because the way it works on secondments, they normally downgrade you a year
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they told me.
to get you adjusted to the national to the specificities of the countries you
Mhm.
go to, and to let you catch up with those.
Okay.
But then when you return, if everything went well, they like give you that year back. So
Ah,
I was promoted basically when I came back
okay.
in Luxembourg.
Okay.
And you felt that something changing in Luxembourg the 2 years you were gone?
But yeah, definitely. I mean, cloche d'Or was only fields and cows when I left. When I returned,
It was a
there
shopping
were,
center.
Yeah, exactly. There were cranes and construction fields everywhere. So yeah, definitely there was something that changed. But in terms of, to be honest, in terms of atmosphere at the office, no, not really. Well, there was a new office because before I had just left, before the new office was
Built.
inaugurated.
Construction.
Yeah,
Mm.
so that was the biggest change.
Okay.
But other than that, no. Of course, the department was going to be different for me, but all the people I knew were still there, and
Okay. And what you like about Luxembourg? Like,
Yeah. Tell us how to survive 10 years here.
Yeah.
What's the secret sauce?
But actually, I think that it is. Luxembourg is very, very well positioned when it comes to building a family here.
Okay.
So, although at first when you arrive, you might find it small and not as competitive in terms of nightlife with other big cities like Paris, Milan, or whatever. From a family point of view, this is something that I mean, not many city can compare with. Like, I don't know, if your kids go to school, we learn 3 to 4 languages.
Yes, it's crazy here.
But also, I mean, security. Security is
It's important
Is
in your
important,
life. But
yeah.
I think here also with this COVID situation, we're a really safe place in Europe right now.
yeah. But no, I mean, financial security, but also, security in a general sense. Like, you're never left alone. Whatever it happens to you,
Yeah.
they will take care of you, right? I'm thinking, for example, to the floods that happened recently, and I have a a colleague of mine, who got flooded at home. He basically lost all his cars because they were in the garage.
Okay.
And like 3 months after, the insurance already refunded. I don't know if in any other country this would have happened.
Yeah.
If you ever get
Yes.
the refund, right? So that's the security I'm talking about.
In Italy, the insurance will pour even more water into your garage.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I'm.
And it's your fault, not.
Can I get refunded? Yeah, some more water. Please have.
So yeah.
Okay. And what do you like to do, like during your free time, like
Well,
hobbies or?
I
If you have free time.
no, I do have free time. I do have free time right now. In the past, a little bit less, but no, I mean, look, I like to spend some family time. Um, we like to travel in the region as well.
Okay.
Like, I mean, we do go to Paris quite easily, to be honest. So this is something that we like to do. But also the neighboring bigger cities like Metz, Trier are not too bad.
Also,
or
Frankfurt is not that far.
Brussels. So we like to travel as well. We like to stay in Luxembourg, of course. But whenever you feel like you have to do something different, it's easy to do it because everything is at reach.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if many other cities in Europe can
Yeah,
have
offer
that
the same.
advantage, yeah.
If you think about, there are not many cities actually.
Mm.
And you have some hobbies like here in Luxembourg, like you do sports.
Well, to be honest, yes, I do, but nothing agonistic or anything like that level. I do some gym.
Okay.
Something basic. No, not really.
With your like current position in your job, it's easy for you to find time to go to the gym, go home, like take care of your family, or
But
it's quite a challenge.
To be honest, in the past was quite a challenge, but now I think that with COVID we all got like conscious of the fact that you have to have a life other than your work,
Yeah.
and it brought that flexibility that helped to let you find your own spaces.
Okay.
So it's much easier than it used to be.
But is there been any moment like in your career that you felt like I don't know, it's like I mean
Overwhelmed
it's
or-
known like in Big Four it's quite tough, it's quite challenging. Has ever been like a moment where you said I'm not gonna do it, I'm quitting, or
To be honest, there have been a couple of moments, but those not when I was overloaded, but actually on the other side when I was getting bored of doing the same things, and that's when, for example, I tried to do something different and to go to the US. So that at that moment I was looking for something different. I was kind of bored of doing the same thing, so I am quite lucky that my employer offered this opportunity. That's the real moment where I decided, I thought to change. But because of the overload, you are overloaded with work. In my case, I didn't even have the time to stop and think, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. We were just going, and yeah.
okay.
You will change like place right now. Like if you look at your past, you will go somewhere different than US, or maybe Luxembourg.
No, to be honest, no,
You're happy
not
with
really.
your choices?
Yeah, to be honest, I am. There isn't anything I regret of, to be honest. The US, it was, at the end of the day, it was a good choice. I liked the 2 years I spent there. I would have spent more, as I said, but I liked the experience. And Luxembourg, proved to be a place where you can build your career, where you can start a family. So, not really. I have to say that sometimes you make choices. I was pretty lucky with them. Yeah.
And here you can find the right milk, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, actually, I
is,
stopped drinking milk
Ah,
after
okay.
I went to the US, to be honest. All
Okay.
in all, after the 2 years when I came back, I couldn't digest any other milk. So,
But here the food is quite nice. Like
It is.
also when you go out in the restaurants, Like
Yeah.
you can find the real Italian food and everything.
But yeah, I'm spoiled because there is, I mean, half of Puglia moved,
Yeah.
moved here in the 60s. So there are
Yes.
some very big influences. So no, from that point of view, I'm lucky.
And favorite food that you eat a lot here?
But I do have actually, we do have a canteen at our place, but I like to say that I do have my personal canteen. I usually go to a restaurant that is owned from people from Puglia. So that is my favorite.
Atelier del Gusto.
Yes.
Ah, it's really nice.
So
love
that's
it.
my own
Yeah.
canteen. So every day you would find me there. During the weekdays, that's where I go.
It's really nice. I've been there a few times, and but I like the concept because it's like osteria, no?
It's like family
yeah.
owned. Yeah, I mean there is the father, the mother, the
Yeah.
uncle, the
You know, I
son.
think I've never been there.
No,
I don't know.
it's really nice because
Yeah, we
they
should go.
don't. I mean, if you have to ask for the menu, there's no menu. There's the
Exactly,
waiter telling you
exactly.
there's this, and this, no more. So
Old school, bro.
It's
Yeah.
old school and it's like very family oriented food. Like I don't know, pasta e fagioli. I've never found pasta and fagioli anywhere else in Luxembourg, but I can found pasta e fagioli there.
In US, there was a pasta fagioli.
Absolutely.
pasta and beans from Cerigno.
Madonna. A shock.
It's a joke. Yes.
And actually, like, okay, if you, I mean, when you were back in US, what was like something that you were craving, like for food, like fast food, or if you really had to go, I want to go to the restaurant and I want to eat something.
But at the beginning, it was funny to try fast foods, but I mean, you get tired quickly because you start realizing that everything tastes the same. Because yeah, the concept of food over there is really different. Look, I was shocked, for example, when I was there for a couple of weeks, and I was watching television. There was an advertisement of a cheese company, and their motto was, "We are real cheese people." I mean, real cheese, because there are some
Yeah.
cheese that are sold that are chemical. They are not made of. I mean, they are not real cheese. So you can imagine that that's where what they cook at the fast food, and you are lacking
Mm-hmm.
the sense of food. Everything tastes the same. At the beginning, you are curious to try, but you get tired very quickly.
Mm-hmm. And when you go back home, what's the first thing that you want to eat? Like that your
Focaccia.
focaccia.
But yeah, I mean, I don't even have to ask because already at the doorstep, there is already my mother waiting me to
Spooning you
enter.
already, like,
So
I feel it. It's the skin. You know?
You're skinny, mama. Now when you imagine your grandma, like you're skinny.
but this my wife will not like it because she cooks focaccia, but it's not my mom's focaccia, right? It's a
Yes,
stereotype.
we
it's a
are
stereotype,
Mammoni
right?
guys. Like, yes, yes.
It's a stereotype, but it's the truth.
Mama's better.
When you're going back now for Christmas?
For Christmas, yeah. Actually, in a couple of weeks, I will drive to Italy. Yeah.
You will drive?
I usually drive there.
All the way.
Yep. I usually drive all the way down. It's
I complain
You like
whenever I
your
go
car.
to Verona, but
I like my car. It's like 1,500 kilometers. But yeah, no, I like driving, and during the winter we usually stop somewhere in between.
That
we
makes
try,
sense.
yeah, we try to stop somewhere
Yeah.
different every time.
because if you think about it, if you're in US, 1,500 kilometers is not even a big deal. But here in Europe, you know, once you have to cross Switzerland, I mean, you literally want to kill yourself
Yeah.
because you have to go 80 kilometers per hour. The radar have no how do you say tolerance. So if you
I
go
share-
81,
I
Flash,
share,
then
I
the-
share that feeling. Yeah.
you know, it's like Switzerland, I think is 300 kilometers and it takes 6 hours or something like this. I don't know how it's possible. It's like,
Yeah, I always joke with my wife when we travel. I say, "Can we build like a bridge,
bridge.
over Switzerland?"
And they're revenues for all the fines in Switzerland is more than GDP of Italy.
Yeah. Any other question?
You have some questions?
No,
No, okay.
but
No, we have one. We have the closing one.
Okay.
So if you are, imagine, picture, you are at the restaurant, right? And you can invite 3 more people to sit at the table.
Read at that time?
Almost, yeah. It's dinner time. No, do you want to ask something else before? So we ask you this question, and then if you come up with something else, we go.
Okay, you're the boss. Okay.
So imagine
No, you're not.
I'm your daddy. Whatever. So imagine you are at the table at the restaurant, and you can invite 3 people over from any time and anywhere in the world. Who would you choose?
well, it's a tough question, to be honest. One, it's an easy one. It's Claude Juncker.
Okay.
The Luxembourgish guy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Him.
Former,
Him.
yeah, exactly. The former European Commissioner, former Prime Minister of Luxembourg.
Okay.
One of those that made Luxembourg what it is today.
Great again.
Great once, actually.
So yeah,
Nicolas
definitely. That would be one of those. Another one would be somebody that even I wouldn't know, but somebody elderly from Luxembourg to get to know how Luxembourg, was before they entered into banking, fund investments, and what.
It's the only country where you see farmers with Ferrari, actually, because
and maybe somebody who came to Luxembourg at the time where you traveled with the cardboard, the cardboard and the plastic bags to ask to see how it was to move out from your own country, probably because not of your choice, but because you were forced to.
Yeah.
I think that would spark an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Usually people say like Gandhi, Hitler, I don't know, somewhere, but
that's a good point.
Down to earth.
nice.
Tu Atelier del Gusto, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pasta e
To
fagioli.
enjoy some pasta e fagioli. Any
I'm
other
hungry
question?
now.
Actually,
You had lunch?
yes.
Me no.
Pasta al ragù from my mom. Because whenever I go back to my hometown, I come back with a 20-kilo luggage, and it's full of ragu. I mean, like frozen.
Yeah.
Salame, parmigiano. It's like.
But that's the reason why I drive home.
Okay. It's worth the effort in this case.
That's why. Okay. You come up with something.
No, I was hoping with you. No, but we have some questions that. But actually, we had like so many questions, and I don't remember one right now.
First up, you open in the morning.
First up on your phone that you open in the morning.
First stuff.
Up. The first app you open in the morning.
Unfortunately, it's still the Gmail app from work.
Business first.
Unfortunately, I have to say, I'm still at that stage.
And now, like with your current position, like you feel comfortable, or in the future you see like a change, or?
Well, I just transitioned to to a big step in the career. Like I got promoted to director last summer, so I mean I do not see myself changing in the short term. We of course never know what the future holds, but
How it feels to be a director?
But at first you still, you don't really realize because yourself, you do not have like the click to switch from what you were doing before, like just overnight because you got promoted. But you start to realize that you have to delegate and to focus on things that in the past were not part of your duties. So
Well, actually, regarding the click, I would say the parking spot. It's a
but
nice.
that's something that it's nice that you touch upon this, because that's definitely the best benefit one could get. And yeah, I mean, being suffering the cold, not wearing a winter jacket during the winter, it's my biggest achievement in my life.
Because actually, to my partner, I asked him like. Yeah, what was the biggest thing that changed? It's like, the day I became manager, I mean, at the time they could Parker, and it's like, badging in for the first time as a manager, so you can enter the parking lot, and it's like, yeah. Because now actually during COVID, we've been a little bit spoiled, let's say, because we could...
for 1 year, I parked always inside.
Yeah.
It was like really good.
And now it's back to bus or parking all the way to Belgium and walking.
I also suffer cold. In fact, I moved near the office. So it's just 5 minutes.
Either the car or me. So.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you ever see yourself like in the future to go back to Italy?
No, I don't think so, to be honest. But even if I think about at some point retiring in Italy, I don't even know if by then there will be a reason to retire in Italy. So probably my family would have, would be here. So to be honest, I don't know. I don't think so.
And your parents visit you here a lot?
No, not really. To
Okay.
be honest, they came a couple of times, so they don't come often to visit. But I don't blame them.
Because they cannot cope with the English, right? The British English.
Okay.
Here, the
It's more.
good morning.
Good morning.
Exactly, that's the reason why.
But do you speak French?
I mean, I do speak. I get away with it, but I'm not. I wouldn't define myself fluent.
We can speak all the language that we want, Yes, more or less.
Because I don't speak French at all. But I mean, it's a pity once you're in Luxembourg and not to learn it.
But to be honest, for me, by now, yes, I do speak French. I do not consider French the second language. I mean, my brain was set on English when I came here, and to try to learn a third language while everybody speaks English here wasn't easy. You didn't have to make the effort because everybody speaks English here,
yeah.
or when they recognize your accent, they even speak Italian too. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the ideal place where to learn French. If you would move to Paris, you would have to speak French, right?
They want you to speak French.
They're right. So it's indeed a pity. After 10 years, I could have been like
Fluent.
Also Luxembourgish, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I tried to learn Luxembourgish
I
once. It's tough. It's tough because I don't speak any German. I have no basics in German, so that was super tough for me.
You quit.
And I quit because I didn't have the motivation to learn, because either you speak English, Italian, or French, and you'll get away with it. But, it's a pity because people from here, they would approach you in Luxembourgish, and they're right, it's their language. But yeah, maybe
Maybe in the future.
In the future, I'll try again. I don't know.
Yes. We didn't ask him like what. It's also something that sometimes we talk about. When you go back in Puglia, but also before, I mean, from the first moment that you went to UK, then Luxembourg, US, you were like going back for holidays, and with your friends, you start to see differences between, let's say, your mentality, your way of thinking with them. Like sometimes we talk like together, and we saw like in the conversation with our friends that there were some boundaries, because you grow up, you change, and in your hometown it's like things are not moving that fast.
Time hasn't passed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I do have some friends who, I mean, grew up and stayed there, and they are still there all their life. So their vision of the world, it's only what they see over there and what they see through the media. But even if they travel, I mean, yeah, they are not open-minded as somebody who lived in 4 countries, because and the exposure, the experiences you get are different. So definitely there are some some differences. And another thing I find, which is quite I mean, unfortunate sometimes and inconvenient, is that you start talking about money in a different way. You know what? For you it's not expensive, for them it's really expensive. So, and that's the, I mean, it's a pro and a cons of Luxembourg, because
Yeah.
I mean, going abroad on vacation, I mean, you have difficulty to find something that is more expensive than here.
Yeah.
But you
Definitely.
might find yourself talking to your parents about 10 thousands of euros that they would earn, you know, in their lifetime, and for you, you would earn them in a year. So
Yeah.
I just pay 1,000 euro of rent, and it was like, what? Like 1,000? Yeah, it's a good price for Luxembourg, you know.
exactly. Those are the kind of things I was referring to. So.
But other way around, there's some stuff that I never get used to, like paying €2 or €3 for espresso. It's like every time it's like
That's the other way. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the cons.
15 euros for a pizza is good. How much is for the pasta fagioli? I think for sure will be 11, 12.
Well, it's actually really cheap.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not so
like,
expensive.
They do have like a fixed menu price.
Menu,
so.
yeah, and they give you the appetizer, the dessert.
Sure.
It's like a full package.
Yeah.
But you never been there.
I don't remember right now.
Okay, I'll bring you there once.
Okay.
We can go once for
Yeah,
lunch.
it's on camera.
Yeah.
You
It's
promised.
Let's go for lunch once.
And then I think that's it.
Yeah. Wanna ask something else?
No, it's like no. Like we covered most of his life. Like he explained a lot. Thanks for that.
No
Yeah.
problem.
And I think we can close it there. Here.
So guys, see you at Atelier del Gusto for pasta fagioli.
Yes. Best pasta fagioli in Luxembourg.
And if you're still watching,
I don't think so, but
comment with pasta and fagioli. Canestrelli.
Canestrello. Okay, like Vincenzo, thanks a lot for being here.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was really interesting, and
Good luck
yeah,
with the future.
I hope you enjoyed like our small
I did.
interview.
I did.
We're
Thanks.
we're really like investing a lot of time in this, and we believe in it. And let's see.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
See you at the office on Monday.
Facciamo le telecamere così facciamo tipo blurry.
Sì,
Stiamo ancora noi parlando. Bravo. Bravi.